Hello, this is Lee Anthony Davis here on my YouTube channel. Yesterday, I made a video on the verge of quitting YouTube. It's true, I was on the verge of doing it. I was thinking, tempted, because I wasn't getting anywhere. But then I read the comments and it sort of woke me up. I needed a slap in the face, and that was the way to do it. There were constructive comments, there were criticism as well there, but they were constructive, and I took it on board. Also, thank you before I start. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. I appreciate it very much. Very, very much. Right, okay, I'm going to get on with it. Basically, yesterday was about, I reached my my wits end with it. I just didn't know what to do. I've been loading videos up, loading, and nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. I've got a couple of hits here, a couple of hits there, and I wonder what is wrong with the videos I'm doing. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, it's nothing to do with what you're doing, it's what the algorithm's doing. Now, the algorithm is obviously showing this videos, but to the wrong audience. They're not my audience. If they were my audience, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But they would obviously be big hits. So anyway, after losing my temper yesterday and whatever, and I took time out. I wanted to rethink my strategy. And what I did was I took a video from what was not supposedly good on air and took it to somewhere else, like TikTok, as I explained yesterday, and it hit 750, no, 780 hits on it. And I got a lot of new followers on there. So it proved that it does work in certain places, but on some places like this, it doesn't. It's because this is more of a wider, broader spectrum. And it's obviously about advertising and obviously getting coverage. And you have to learn certain things. Firstly, you need an audience to do it. If you've got no audience, you might as well do it to the wall, because that's the exact audience you got, a brick wall. It's just like anything else in life. You just got to sort of peg at it. Uh, a couple of years ago, as I said before, I actually went into meltdown because I lost all my groups. Facebook shot me down. I had about, let's say, I'd have about 30 or 40 groups. Very good. They had members on. And I had so much material on there. It was attracting everything. But sadly, a couple of arseholes got on there, and they started wrecking my groups when I wasn't there. I didn't even know anything about it because I went for a 2-week break, and there was nobody watching me groups, or I had no moderators or admins, so obviously that's my fault. And unfortunately, they were putting sexual content on there. A couple of them tried to get in touch with me by email. They got in touch with me. Obviously, I couldn't do anything about it, but when I got back, Facebook says your group has broken the community rules, and therefore we are shutting you down. You're also barred for 6 months. I found out who did it, and when I found out who did it, to me, because they wrecked everything. I was no longer on Facebook. I had nothing, right? Completely destroyed. So I found out who did it. They had groups, so they basically were trying to wreck mine. So I sent a few of my mates on there to wreck theirs, and they did a good job. And they chased them out, and eventually their groups got shot down, and they got barred. So basically, what comes round goes round. But like I said, I didn't feel good after doing that, but it made me feel that if you're going to do something to me, I've got to do something to you. It's tit for tat, isn't it? But they really destroyed me. They wrecked everything I did. I built up over 2 years before that, and that was the end of it. It was all gone. One bite of the cherry, and it's all gone. And so I had nothing. So I had to start again, and I had to rethink how I'm going to do this without any of this happening ever again. So anyway, what I did was I rethought my strategy. For starters, I didn't want to do too many groups. That was the first start. Secondly, I needed to find out where everything would be with the audience. What would they like? And obviously, being a Doctor Who fan, I would know what they would like because that is my audience, Doctor Who. And I also thought, what else is popular as well? And I thought to myself, right, Blake 7, I'll do Blake 7 as well, do a group for that. And then suddenly people started to come back to me. Once 6 months was over and Facebook lifted my ban and all that, I was back on Facebook, and I decided not to bother with Facebook for the time being. I left it alone. So anyway, I moved on to something else. I decided to go on Twitter and just hang around, see what was going on. Any comments did. I did some comments. I started getting people following me because they liked what I said. And I ended up having about 400, 500 people following me on Twitter. So that was good. So there's the first part done. Then I moved on to Instagram, which is part of Facebook, obviously. And I started to improve on that as well. I posted because Twitter's for comments. Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook are for posting videos and stuff, and of course, TikTok, you can make good videos. So anyway, so there was a whole spectrum opened up for me after losing everything, and I decided to do that. And I started building them up. I started making videos on TikTok, and it started to get big hits. And so I decided before all that happened, I was on YouTube, by the way, but I wasn't doing anything. I was trying my best. I was banging my head like that. What am I going to do? You know, nobody wants to come. Nobody likes my stuff. And it's true. They didn't. And they didn't like me either. So probably that was another stumbling block. So anyway, I decided to leave YouTube, and I left it as it was with about 20 subscribers. Or no, I had about five subscribers, no joke. And they looked like they weren't going to hang around. So I'll probably end up coming back to it with zilch. You know, that's life. So anyway, I decided to start on the smaller things and start building my audience up. Once I started establishing myself, then I went to Facebook and started building the groups up. I created one group. I started with a Doctor Who group, then I started with a Blake Seven group, then I started with a Katie Manning group, and I started with a Sarah Jane group. Once I got members in for that, and they started to trust me, and they started to I started to appoint admin, I started to do moderators, and so I had my back watched, if you know what I mean. So anyway, excuse me. So anyway, I started to build up on that, and people that came to it started to advertise it and say this is a good group. So they brought their friends along. Eventually, I had a good following on there, so it worked very well. So basically, I got about 5,000. 5,000. Not bad, is it? But it got too much for me. I decided to give it away. That's what I was doing on YouTube when I was coming back to here. I just couldn't handle it anymore because I had to be in about 8 places at once. Instagram, because I had a following on there. I had to go to Twitter. I had a following on there. I had to make sure that I always stayed essential to people. So they keep, because every day you have to do it. Whether you like it or not, you've got to do it. If you want to build up that audience, you've got to do things every day. You've got to create. You've got to have ingenuity. You've got to have a fresh stream of ideas. You've got to do it, because if you're not prepared to be consistent in that way, you ain't going to make it. Because if you can't do the simplest thing like that, you certainly ain't going to make it on here, because this is more of a broader spectrum to sort of confront. So anyway, I went to let's see. I gave the groups away. I did a competition on here. And it basically started to work out. I started to relieve the burden of all these groups by giving them to other people, and they're doing pretty well with them. So, and also, people wanted me to help them start groups, and I did. I built their groups up for them. I constructed them well for them. I made them attractive. What would make people come to it? What people wouldn't like about it? And I did it all. I used my experience to build the group up for them. By putting in little things like members board list, so you got a members list of people joining the group, making videos about happy birthday to their members that are celebrating their birthday on that day, all those sort of things. And it brought in a lot of people for them. I helped with the amazing world of Doctor Who. I also helped with many other groups as well in Doctor Who. I did some Blake Seven. I've done actually 3 Katie Manning ones, and I've helped build them up as well. The wonderful world of the wonderful world of Katie Manning group, the Katie Manning group, and now I've got one myself. For myself, that is, I built it up for myself. So anyway, I had all that and I gave it all away. I just walked away from it. It's that horrible moment when it just gets on top of you, and this is what YouTube was doing for me a couple of days ago. It's just getting on top of me. I just realized you do the videos, you either get demonetized for putting a video that's copyright, and you don't know what's copyright until it's too late. Let me tell you, there's a load of people up there in YouTube that are doing copyright from other people's work, so don't give me all that bollocks. You know what I mean? It's just that you're a small channel and you're an easy target. That's all it is. So anyway, so I decided to rethink my strategy a couple of days ago after I did the video, the stream, and I decided, right, what would work for me? I'm not walking away from what I've got. That would be ridiculous. That would be mental. That'd be stupid. I did that with my groups before, and basically I regret it because them groups are growing and I'm no longer there anymore. I cannot be in charge of them anymore because once you come off a group, you lose all the rights to it. You know what I mean? You can be invited back on, but you can't do nothing with it. You're not the owner anymore. I was the owner, but now I've been dislodged. So I have to accept that that is no longer my group anymore, and I left it alone. So I let them get on with it. So that's it, I'm afraid. So that is how things happen when they get on top of you. So now let me give you some advice on how to improve your audience here on YouTube, because I don't want to go into my past life and all that because it can go on for hours and hours and hours. I've had some misfortune. I've also had confrontations with idiots on Facebook. Also, some on YouTube that have been on Facebook. I've had a podcaster trying to use my group for links. I've had to chase him out. You know, all that sort of thing. I could go on for days with that, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bore you to tears. It's boring for me as well because it's all history. A couple of years ago, I made a video. I exploded about some arsehole that was. It was to do with Jodie Whittaker and the 50th anniversary. I think she was a doctor at the time. I think, yeah. It was to do with something anyway. And I said, please do not criticise this Jodie Whittaker poster up. This is my moderator, and he said, "I'm not. This is crap. I don't think she's good." And I'm thinking, you're my moderator, aren't you? You're meant to be backing me up, not sort of biting. And I realised he weren't on my side. He was never. He was only interested in access and getting a bit of power. So I just booted him off and kicked him off, and I never bothered with him again after that. So, and then there was another one of his mates who says, "Oh, I'm going to walk off as well." I said, "Go on, mate, because you've got no significance whatsoever. You're lucky you were here in the first place. So you better sling your hook." So he did, and that was that. So I blocked him, and that's the way to do it. So anyway, there was a lot of uproar with that, and I could go on about it, but there's a lot more to it than that. I'll be honest with you. So anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go into the tips. Right. So firstly, to start your YouTube channel, you don't. All right. You don't start your YouTube channel with zilch. There's no point. Where's your audience? Where they're coming from? Exactly where they're coming from. Unless you're a master at your craft, where you can do videos, that will dazzle or hypnotize the audience to come into it, then you've got no chance. So basically, the first step is find your audience. That's what you've got to do. And then grow it. It's like a plant, isn't it? Put seed in the plant pot, water it, look after it, watch it grow and watch it grow to its full potential. And that's the same with your audience. Look after them. Look after your audience so they keep coming back. It's like advertising, because remember, the audience is a good pinpointer for promotion. They can promote your area, they can promote you. It's all about selling yourself, really. Let's be honest. YouTube is the same thing. So anyway, so that's the first tip. Find your audience. Know what your audience wants. Well, that's easy. The audience likes those categories like science fiction, Doctor Who, Blake Seven, Star Trek. They're the best ones to choose from if you're going to start off. I've done Lost in Space. That's pretty good as well. That is a very popular science fiction series from the 60s, which I love it. I watch them on DVD and stuff. So anyway, and then there's Steve Austin, the $6 million man. We have the technology to build him. Great stuff. Bionic Woman as well, and the Time Tunnel. Also, I like horror as well, Hammer Horror, and they're my likes. Because I enjoy them. I was a kid. I was watching them behind the sofa. Christopher Lee with his fangs and blood pouring out of his mouth. Oh, it's great stuff. I just used to. I think it's called Appointment with Fear on ITV years and years ago. And I used to stay up late, hiding behind the sofa because my parents didn't know I was there. I used to sneak behind the sofa, so when they sat down, they didn't know I was there. I was watching. They always used to watch the horror shows on ITV on Monday night, and I was making sure that I had my front seat, well, my back seat, you could say. Anyway, so that's how I started to enjoy stuff like that. Doctor Who, I must admit, I never got into Doctor Who until towards the end of John Pertwee era. Unfortunately, I didn't see the best of John, but I saw the best of Tom. So anyway, that's how I got into Doctor Who. I think it was the Three Doctors was the first one I ever saw that I can remember. I remember when I was 2 years of age, I was in a pram. I don't know how I remember it, but this television was black and white. It was one of those old-fashioned things. I'm peering over and I saw this sort of funny man in a black coat or whatever with a sort of beetle hair. It just looked funny to me. And that was apparently Doctor Who and the Crotons. I didn't know what it was until years later when I did a bit of research. I was trying to remember what it was called. I just pictured it in my mind, and it was called the Crotons. And I was looking at it when I was 2, when it was actually on BBC One at the time. So I was there when it was on. Right, okay. Getting back to the point. Basically, grow your audience, find your audience. Find your audience, you grow your audience. Simple as that. And where do you find your audience? Well, there are plenty of mediums, as I said. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's Twitch, there's all sorts out there. The first thing you've got to find out, what's comfortable for you. Are you comfortable making videos? Are you comfortable in projecting yourself well? Do you like loading photos up? Do you like sharing your hobby, which is your toys? I don't mean like that, your merchandise, sorry, your merchandise. Put it on Facebook or put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, anything like that. What you feel comfortable with. Once you've established what you feel comfortable with, that is your niche, or that is basically what you need to start off with. And then all you need to do is do posts, probably on Twitter, maybe, even though it's really for comments. There are a few videos on there. It's very political, I know that. So anyway, Twitter can be a good place, but I suggest Facebook. Start with Facebook. Start with your posting videos and stuff. There are copyrights and stuff on there, but not too bad. Not as strict as YouTube, I can assure you. And TikTok's another great place to do videos and stuff, images. They're not too strict either, because I know I did a YouTube video on here and it got banned. Well, not banned, it got blocked. And I took it to TikTok and they let it on. So there you have it. Copyright my bum. So anyway, so that's what I did. I did that, and that's what you should do. You should do that. Grow your channel, and well, now grow yourself by presenting yourself. That is what I do, and I'm not joking. You will attract those sort of people, and that becomes your audience because they're following you. Right, and then the next best thing is to do Twitter, comments, get people to know you on there. Then go on to Twitch or go on to TikTok. In other words, cover yourself, right? Cover yourself on that wide spectrum. And then when you've established yourself and people know you, they'll invite you to their groups. When they do that, then you start posting. Obviously, follow their rules. And if you're not a naughty boy and you don't sort of take liberties, they'll like you for it and they'll introduce you to there. And it grows from there, innit? It's just like anything. We're all advertisement machines. We advertise everything. I like that. It's like saying that meal I had at that restaurant was fabulous. I recommend you should go there, you know, or say I went to that Greasy Joe's last week. Blimey, I wouldn't recommend a dog to go there. You know what I mean? So basically, people are great audiences for publicity, and they are the biggest promotion you can ever have. So the audience is what you want. Get the audience on your side. That's the main thing. So grow your audience. And now I have told you where to get your audience. And then I've told you what is your niche. So select your niche, what the audience likes. And I'll tell you, Doctor Who is a winner because it seems to be the in thing to be. Blake Seven is also a winner. People love that. Let me see. We got, what's another popular one? Oh, stuff like Sherlock Holmes, perhaps, you know, detective stuff. I know there was one American icon cult series, Kojak. Now, I built that up. There's a lot of people. I don't know how many people. I think there's 500 or 600. When I started it off, there was nobody on there because I was just building it up. That was one of my groups I let go away. I regret that because it's a real popular thing, and I wish I never let that. It's called the official Kojak, the Night Stalker group. It's on Facebook, so join it. I recommend it. It's one of my groups, but I gave it to Janine Follett, I think it is, and she's looking after it very well. One of my mates is on there helping her out, so I know the group very well. But it's doing very, very well. That is something you could get into, something like that. Anyway, so you find your niche. You got your Doctor Who. Then you've got to have a catchy title for your group. So I'd suggest you start off with a page. The page is much easier. You just don't have to do many templates. You don't do templates or nothing. You just sort of do it to your own design. That is a good thing, isn't it? Do it to your own design. You feel confident and comfortable with it, you know, so people will also feel comfortable, because if you project confidence, people will be confident with you. Remember that. So anyway, so you got your group or page, and start off in a little way. You invite people. Don't invite too many because people can get pissed off with that. And really only invite people you know. That is the best way to do it. Once you invite them and they come on, then they'll start giving comments. That is when you know you're starting to grow your audience. That is your audience. Right. And then you move on to groups, as I did. I did page first in group. I'm doing it from this period, not from the 2 years ago. I started again, remember, because I got shot down by Facebook, all right, and I got demonetized by YouTube, all right. So there you go. And I'm not forgetting Twitter; they shut me down as well because of a seditious comment I made about the way they run things. Didn't like it. So anyway, getting back to the point. Grow your audience. I started off with a page again. That did well. A lot of people there. Then I did a group, advertised it everywhere. I did it on everywhere you can imagine it. It was promoted. And I basically got myself an audience. So there's your audience in the group, posting away, knowing who you are. And there you have your audience. Right. And the next trick is to expand that audience to other things you do. And so you get other people liking other things, and you know what they are, and you've got it sussed, because then you found the magic key. That is the magic key. Grow your audience, find your audience, grow your audience. Long as it's what you like, they will like as well. But remember, not everybody's a Doctor Who fan, so remember that. That's how you do it, really. Then once you've done that, once you've established yourself, you've got 500 members or 1,000 members or 2,000 members, because it grows quick. And your page is your bigger one, because your page gets even more hits. And that is your following as well, because they advertise your page to other people. And the good thing about it is Messenger is also a good way to thank them as well. You know, like you get Messenger and you see those people that have joined your group, you thank them, because they will return the favor in what you call what's the word I'm looking for? Basically in equal returns. They will give you a good investment by publicizing you as something to promote that this guy is worth following, and that is what you want. Now that is what I'm saying. This all boils down to growing your audience, knowing what the audience wants, and knowing that you have established yourself. It's establishment that is what you want. You want to establish yourself. Once you've established yourself, then you can do all sorts of things. You could do videos and stuff and let people know who you are, right? Get yourself out there. You've got to be confident to do it. You mustn't sort of stop and sort of think, oh, I don't think I could do that. If you're not going to be able to do that, don't do it at all, because this is what is expected of you. When you go and see a YouTuber, a big YouTuber doing his stuff, he's all confident in his hands and he's this and he's full of shall I say, energy, right? And that's what you got to aspire to. You've got to be full of energy. You got to get people to be inspired, right? Otherwise, if you're dull and boring, nobody's gonna be attracted to that. Put it this way: if you want to attract all the females, you've got to lay a little seed out. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's what you got to do. You've got to attract your audience. You've got to build your audience first, and you've got to find your audience. You find your audience on where I've told you. So once you got your audience, then and now we're getting to the point where we have to be. YouTube. Now, YouTube, as we know, is a very hard place to start off from. We all know about how difficult it is to get your audience, to establish yourself. Obviously, the algorithm keeps changing, right? So it will change from how long you see the video from the audience perspective, who sees the video, because that is the most important thing, who sees the video and what is the audience for that video. Unfortunately, I have seen neither, because it hasn't been shown in the right place. So you have to sort of attract the audience. And the way to do that, as I said, bring in your friends from Facebook, Twitter. They are your audience. Trust me, they are your audience, because they follow you. They watch your stuff. They know you. They're confident with you. They understand you. They trust you. People that don't know you and they come on here, they don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know you. That's the way you are and everything. They think you're an arse or whatever. And they won't stay. They just think, oh, I don't like him. He's a bloody idiot. You know what I mean? So, they know you. They know your humour. I'm humorous sometimes, when I want to be anyway. I'm also depressed sometimes when it goes all bloody wrong. But anyway, getting back to the happy moment. So that's what you got to do. You've got to do that. That is the magic key, I'm afraid. There's no other key for it. If YouTubers say they can give you 1,000 subscribers, I'll tell you what, I will probably, it'll be cockroaches take over the earth. That's what I'm talking about. Cockroaches will take over the earth quicker. Now, because at the end of the day, they have no more magic key than anybody else does. If they had the magic key, they'll be doing it for themselves. They won't be telling you. They won't tell you the secret. If they had the secret, they don't have the secret. They're very good at what they do. Their plausibility. That's what they do, because it's like a salesman. He's got to get across your household. If you say, I'm a salesman, or let me in your house, I'm a con man, it's not going to work, is it? So you have to sort of use subterfuge and sort of smoke and mirrors. You have to sort of fool people sometimes to get anywhere. I know it sounds a bit crude, but that is what you have to do. You have to sort of project your image. You have to give an image. The image might not be who you really are, but it might work for the audience. So understand that. So image is another thing, but confidence comes through experience, obviously. The more you do it, the better you get. And I always find that, as I started out, I was very unconfident. I was going like that. And the reason being is because I was stuck for words. I didn't know what to say. As you can see, I'm not stuck for words now, am I? No, am I not? So I decided to practice in a mirror and start talking as if I'm talking to somebody else, just to get over that barrier where I can actually sort of reach out instead of sort of carrying away, don't know what to do, turn my head down like that. The worst crime you can do is not make eye contact with the audience. Always make eye contact with the audience, because it's the eyes they look at. They want to see your eyes. They want to see what your emotions are. It's evoking emotions as well. Remember that, because sometimes thumbprints do work, but they don't always. But they evoke emotions in people. That's why they probably touch it and see what's behind it, or the big words "how to," or "you could," or "I will." Big salesman talk, by the way. It's something you learn in neuro linguistic programming, what salesmen are taught, how they sort of project themselves. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. So basically, that's it, really. They're the tips. Firstly, find your audience. Secondly, grow your audience when you know what you're going to do with it. And that will attract the audience. Once you've got the audience you want in all directions, because it takes time, it's not a magic key. It's not a quick fix. This is a long-term thing. You've got to do the long-term thing because it will give you an idea on how to approach these things and how to deal with these things when they come up. When you cross that bridge, you don't want to be waiting until you cross that bridge when you have no ideas how to get to the other side because the bridge has collapsed. No, you want to be ready for that situation in case it does happen. And that is what it's all about. It's all about life's plunges. You've got to plunge. You've got to take the chance. You've got to take the risk, because without taking risks, we would never have evolved from the carpet as a human race. So risks are what we take to sort of find out. We need to take that step into the unknown. And I took the step into the unknown with YouTube, because I had no idea where or what it was going to lead to. But in the end, I did suffer a few hemorrhages with it, but I managed to get myself sort of confident enough so I can project myself like I'm doing now. It doesn't take a lot. I mean, all you need is once you've got your YouTube channel, then you get something like this, a sort of laptop. It doesn't have to be a good one. It can just be a one that does podcasts or live streams. It's a simple tool, quite easy to work. You don't really have I think it's about, you can get a good one for about 600 quid off the internet, but I wouldn't advise you to buy a second-hand one. The reason being is because it's got other people's crap on it. You don't know if there's viruses in it. I never touch second-hand ones. I always buy a brand new one with a recommendation to it. So if you're looking on YouTube from the internet or Amazon or whatever, I need to find that recommendation. I need to find those comments to say if it's good or not. If they're bad comments, don't touch it. But that is how you learn. You've got to take that risk when you buy something. Everything's a risk, isn't it? Crossing the road or whatever. Anyway, but like I said, that's how you start. Get yourself a laptop, but you can start with an iPhone. You can start with a simple, iOS phone 4. You can start with 4 if you want. You can still pick up pictures. You can still see yourself. You can still take photos, and you can still get good images on it. So it doesn't have to be expensive stuff. So don't believe anyone that tells you you have to have the best equipment. All you have to do is have the best projection. As long as you've got a good image, you've got a good following, you've got your audience already, man. And no fancy equipment will put that aside. I'm telling you, you've got your audience. So all you do then is advertise your YouTube channel to them, and they'll come over like they did into the group, like they did to TikTok, like they did everywhere else. It does work. You don't believe me? Then try it. You try it. Start from scratch, right? Or don't start from scratch. Start as shall we say, start as a new identity, a new account, or a new account would be better. Which is a new identity. But basically, call yourself something else. Get yourself an iPhone. Put different details on it, and then go on Twitter, and then see how it works. You'll see. Watch the comments. Don't get involved right away. Leave it a few days, then see a comment, like it, thank them. Be sort of grateful for their responses and stuff. There's simple little things like that can get people's attention to you in the right way, not in the wrong way. The right way. Remember that. So you get that, and it comes to you, and then they start to trust you, and they start to anything you do on there, they'll give you a thumbs up, because they know who you are. They liked what you said, that you're very well respectful towards them and their friends start following you. And that's a good start. And that's just one example. You can go TikTok, put a good video on, and suddenly you've got people looking at it. And then you've got people wanting to follow you. And then you go to Facebook, you build up a rapport with the audience by sort of posting and then looking around for good groups to join, and then basically you get noticed and you get known, and then on Messenger they start typing to you. There is a downside to that. You can get some loonies as well, like they're saying how are you, so watch out for the how are you, how are you doing. These are scams, all right? So keep away from them, block them, get rid of them straight away. That's on Messenger. So I never touch that. But I only touch the ones I know, people I know. And once you have a good rapport with them, then they will trust you. And if you're doing a group, they will want to join it. They won't want to wait for you to ask. They'll just come on. Seriously. You trust me on that one. So anyway, I hope I've helped the new YouTuber on how to get started. So don't be despondent like I was a couple of days ago, thinking about I'm on the verge crap. I was never going to walk away from it, but what I was depressed. I was scratching around in the dust. I didn't know where to go or what to do. I didn't know where the next. It's like not knowing where the next meal's coming from, isn't it? But anyway, I picked myself up like I usually do. It's it's one of them things. It didn't work. It was not working, and I had to find a way to work it. And I thought back a few to the time when I was really in a real turmoil, and I realised how did I get out of that? Because I was in such a mess, and I realised the way to do it is to walk away from it, take a breath, and then take a good look. And then you start to see the mist clear a bit and you start to see everything clearly again. And you realize where you were going wrong, and that was wrong. That didn't work. That did, and you start to sort of draw yourself back into it again, but in the right way this time and not the wrong way. So I hope I've given you some good tips there. I'd like to see new YouTubers doing well because they deserve a chance. I started off with zero. I've got probably 200 plus in my subscribers. I'm going for 1,000 videos, so that is my main goal. So you've got your own goals, but that's how to start. So look after yourselves. I'm going to sign off now because it's getting on a bit, but I will be posting 4 videos up here, or 5 if I recall. Yeah, 5 videos a day on my channel. So if you like what you see, this is the hypocrisy, I'm going to do it. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. And if you want further notifications, hit the bell button. There you go. I did it. I've sold out. But anyway, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Look after yourselves. I'll probably do another live stream to do some tips on other things because there's plenty to tell you. But I thought I'd bring this one to highlight. I thought I related to why I was feeling that way. But I realised there is a way around these things. And, the people that actually got me out of this, snapped me out of it with a flick of the fingers, were the comments. Because I looked at that and it says, you've got to be, we've seen you go this way before on Facebook, a couple of comments, because they knew who I was. And it wasn't nice. And it says, it's good that you've got yourself back together, pulled yourself together. But I recognised the signs 2 days ago that I was going, yes, I was, but I wasn't going to go that loony. I exploded. I did a video. It got a lot of hits, but I wasn't interested in that. I just sort of completely gone into meltdown. It's to do with the Facebook groups that got shot down, and of course that fucking arsehole that fucking screwed my groups up. Right, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go into being positive and saying, do those things, what I gave you tips, and I'll tell you what, I promise you, none of this YouTube crap about 1,000 subscribers in 4 days and all that rubbish. Don't believe it. They just want you to subscribe to the channel because they say, right, they took the blabber on, so you're expecting to hear it, and then suddenly hit this video if you want to know how, and then hit this one. It's like saying you can touch You can touch this piece of paper, but don't pick it up. You can pick this paper up, but you can't throw it away. You can throw it away, but don't stamp on it. You can stamp on it, but you can not walk away from it. You can walk. You see what I'm getting at? That is what this is all about. So anyway, I'm not going to go on about that. I'm just going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope those tips were useful to the newest YouTubers on here. I hope I've helped in some way. And all I've got to say is look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Watch out for the videos that I'll be putting up here every day. So thank you for watching. I'm off to Facebook to do some groups. I've got a lot of members to welcome in, so I've got to go now. But thank you for watching. Bye for now.